All right. Hello. So today my topic is prototyping with AI, and I would like to share with you some of my personal experience, how I found it useful for PM role, and tips I learned along the way. So, a few words about me. So, I'm a lead product manager at Judge Me. So, Judge Me is the largest app on Shopify. We're serving reviews for over 500,000 merchants and helping millions and millions of shoppers to make their purchasing decision with confidence. A few words about my background. So, I have over 10 years of experience in data science, product manager, project management, mostly around software development. And fun fact, I used to do machine learning before ChatGPT. All right, before we start, I actually wanted to ask you guys two questions. So the first one, is there anyone in this room who feels like they should be using AI in their day-to-day life more, in their job more? Okay, that's less than I expected actually. I feel it's like this, so 100%. And is there anyone who already tried prototyping with AI? Okay, that's so many. Yeah, I have some useful tips and dance, so maybe you can learn something. Okay, so why AI prototyping matters? So I bet like you also face this pressure that we are expected to deliver more and more with the same resource, and we are expected to improve our efficiency. So how do we get there? And I believe that prototyping with AI can help us here. So the first use case that I found useful is that it can help me to prepare better requirements because I can just jump and explore my ideas with prototyping and basically create better requirements, better thinking on my side. Then the second use case, I believe it can help us to communicate with our team more efficiently because we can just show what we mean instead of writing long requirements. And ultimately, it can save us time and save time for our team as well because we are collaborating more effectively. So if we look how we used to prototype before, I don't know how about you, but in my process, I would need to get buy-in from leadership. I would need to prepare some slide deck, then I would need to request resource. Then we would need to do a few iterations to make it happen, and all of this takes time. And in the best case scenario, it can take days or weeks. In the worst case, it can take months. And the worst thing here is that before we can validate the idea, we need to spend quite a lot of time to get there. So I believe with the AI, we can actually get there faster. So as a team, we are getting more power in our hands. If we have some idea, but let's say we don't have much confidence about it, so we can just jump quickly with prototyping with AI, explore idea, refine it, and then validate it early with internal stakeholders or maybe even with external stakeholders. You can show it to potential customer and get some validation earlier. And then when we collaborate with the team, we actually collaborate on the ideas that we know it's worth investing time in. So this can help us to get there like in hours or days. So now we discussed why. So then I have a few tips like about how. So generally, it's a good practice when you're prototyping with AI to start with recreating your product inside of AI tools. So it's a baseline prototype. And once you did this, you can basically create copies of this baseline prototype and add some improvements or ideas on top of it. And this will help you to save time in the future because, first of all, you will not mess up your baseline prototype when you do this. And secondly, the output of these improvements will be better because AI tool will already have context about your product and what is your design system, how flows works. So then I have a slide here with very quick overview about what tools is out there. So I personally prefer the ones in the middle. So Bolt, V0, Lovable, these are like AI prototyping tools that mostly focused on the front end and allows us to create interactive interfaces. Then a Replit is a bit more advanced tool. So it allows us to cover front end, server, and database. So you can actually create like a full stack application with it. But for our purposes, I believe like all of this is fine because we actually don't need database. Personally, I have subscription with Replit because I was just tempted by this ability to create application on my own. But for some use cases, V0 lovable balls, they all would. V0 is nice because it has nicely, it automatically creates sample data, and it has nice designs. And here I have like 6 tips about how we can prototype more efficiently. So tip number 1 is to use AI to write prompts for AI. So basically before passing a prompt to a Lovable or V0 or any other tool, you can ask Claude or ChatGPT to help you to refine your prompt. Then tip number 2, ask AI developer to create a TXT file with PRD requirement for your product and implementation plan. So it helps us to maintain context, which will be saving your time in the future. Then tip number 3, ask it to implement in phases, especially if it's a more complex idea. It will improve your control over the process and improve quality of prototype. Then tip number 4, don't overcomplicate. So for recreating, like simulating user experience, we don't actually need server and database. So front end is completely fine. If you add more elements to your prototype, more things can get broken. You will spend more time debugging, like you don't want. Keep it simple. And tip number 5 and number 6 is very obvious. Be precise as possible with your requirements, but it's not that easy when you work on this. And tip number 6, when you want to make some updates, refer to elements you want to update as precisely as possible. If you can refer to the code file, that's perfect. If not, just like exact page name, author name, and what you expect. And I also have a few tips with debugging. So debugging will happen. This is inevitable. And 70 to 80% time usually spent on debugging. So how do we make it more efficient? So tip number 1, rollbacks and checkpoints are your best friends. So if you try to resolve some bug and then you go inside of this infinite loop of retries, it's usually better to go back to the first version that almost worked and try another approach. Why is it useful? Because AI can start to rewrite things that worked before, and you risk to end up with a mess. So roll back. Tip number 2, ask AI developer to reflect before fixing. So just explain this issue to me, don't write any code. It can already improve quality. Then tip number 3, just good to remember that AI developer can invent things and hallucinate. So if you suspect it refers to some class or function that doesn't exist, then just ask it to reflect, and it's just good to keep this in mind. And tip number 4 is to use a console log to look for errors. So if you have some behavior in the UI, it's not as you expected, then you can basically find developer tools inside of Chrome, and then there you can find console log. You can try to do actions that is not working, and then you can look for logs. If you can see no logs there, it can happen. Ask AI to add login for you, and then do this again, and then you hopefully will see logs. So you can copy-paste the log and ask AI to fix it. And the last slide, I just wanted to give super quick example about what I did for demo in 5 minutes. So basically, I made a screenshot of a homepage of my product. I copied it to the AI tool. I asked it to replicate this UI for me. And then immediately after that, I asked to add feature on top of it. So I have this idea that it could be useful to add in our product some AI assistant that will help our users to set up a product app for them. I don't know exactly how it should work. I just put my best guess, and I spirit this in AI, and this is what it came up with. So this is not perfect by any means. I'm not happy with the styling. It's not really consistent, and this flows, I think, need refinement, but it's not bad in 5 minutes. So it can give me the start, and now I can start refining the flows I want, how it should work, how it should behave, and I can basically reiterate the requirements. Right, I'm in time. So that's it. Thank you very much for your attention. If you'd like to connect with me, please do. Thank you.